What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome to Jrichfits Lifestyle and Health Coaching Corner. We're on episode 36. The topic of the day is wants versus needs. So, how I look at it, in life, it's more want over need. It's the nice shoes, it's the cool car, it's the big house. That's more want. Need is something that generates more towards survival and the bare minimum to get you from A to B. Our wants are more get you from A to W, where we're jumping past all the other letters. I feel like it messes society up. We become dependent on wants, and that's also a very scary thing when it comes to the phone or when it comes to the TV or the house size that we have. You don't really need all of that, but we're being sold that we need it. So that want, it's always been a want, but now in our brain becomes a need. Very scary, very weird time that want is becoming more of a need than it ever has been before. So we're going to jump right into it. What's a want? To break down the definition, a want is to have the desire to possess or do something with or wish for. So to break all that down with that bad reading of the definition, it's just a desire something. It has nothing to do with the necessity behind it. It's just, I see that, I like that, I want that, I need to get that. Like I said just earlier, we're turning these wants into haves and they are needs now. That is never a good thing. I feel like we have to get away from the want mentality. Because I feel like it's a sheep mentality. When you sit there and you're telling people what you want and you're telling people how the shoes and the cars and the houses are what define you, that's sad. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And why you would push that hard for something that you really don't need, or something that's not life or death, or it's not gonna make or break you. It's just you're working and you're busting your ass just for a want. It should be more for a need than it is anything else, which is gonna drive me into what's a need. The definition of a need is simple and super effective. The definition of a need is just something you have to survive. Water is a need. Food is a need. Shelter is a need. Those three things are really in the premise of it all when it comes to survival. The three things that you need. Everything else is just a want. I don't think you should live life on a need basis, because that's boring and there's no fun in that. There's more fun in wants, but I think that we need to still just reel it in. Don't allow yourself to get so caught up in the rat race, because especially in America, when you turn on TV, all they ever talk about is 90 to 90% want and 5% need. The 5% need is like a water commercial or a life insurance commercial or something like that. Something that's either about health or about survival. Those are the only things that are going to fall under want. Everything else is need, and we are driven to need. And that kind of gets me into a story where I remember talking to this guy, and I thought my brain was more on a want or a need basis. Shelter. All I could think of is I want to save as much money as I possibly can to one day eventually buy a house. It doesn't have to be a big house. I just want something that I can call my own, that I could rest my head under and not worry about getting eaten. And this guy, who a lot of people idolize and a lot of people looked up to because he was hustling and doing all this shit, was sitting there, and I thought he was on the same page as me. So we're talking back and forth, and I'm telling him about how I want to buy a house, and that's my next move. And I thought he had information on it. And he goes, yeah, man, I feel that. Like, my whole big move of this year is to buy some expensive ass car. He said two things. He wanted to buy an expensive ass car. He wanted to buy an expensive ass backpack. And the second I heard him say that, walked away. Didn't want to talk to him anymore. Your fucking need is actually a want. You're talking to me about how you need something and it's dire, and this is what I'm focusing my whole year on. And it's two things that depreciate in value the second you fucking buy it. That should be a big thing. More often than not, your wants depreciate in value the second you buy it. Your needs will appreciate. So if you're thinking about spending money here or there, always just think about the appreciation and how it's going to make you money. More often than not, the needs will make you money. The wants will depreciate. Cars, clothes, all the bullshit. And his brain was on that. I couldn't believe that shit. This guy everybody looks up to and everybody's like, man, he makes his money, he does his thing. But is really a fucking retard and didn't understand the want versus need thought process. And the saddest part that I saw was the future in his life that he didn't even see yet. Because I always look 5 steps ahead. Everybody looked up to him at the moment because he had the money, he had the flash, it was the cars, it was the grills, it was the jewelry, the fucking clothes. That shit, like I said, depreciates. And if you keep living that lifestyle and your income isn't coinciding with this lifestyle you created, you'll eventually be broke. Sure enough, markets change, economies fluctuate. Whatever he was doing wasn't working the way it used to work. So all those beautiful, nice things they had and all this clout that people looked up to him for all fell through because he wasn't looking at the big picture. Spend your money on a more need basis. And who am I to tell you how big of a house you need? Because it is shelter at the end of the day. You could have family members coming in. So if you want a big house, hey, buy that because that is more of a need, which is going to appreciate in value. When you're buying a G-Wag or you're buying some bullshit, it's depreciating and you're going to look stupid because you can't fit your whole fucking family in a G-Wagon. And that isn't, you're not going to fit your whole family in a backpack to keep them warm during the wintertime. So that story always kind of wakes me up. I always think about that. I was in my young 20s at the time. This guy was in his mid to later 20s, and everybody was on him. And now I couldn't even tell you what the fuck that guy's doing. And I know that me staying at my steady pace and saving and wanting to make sure that I only spent the majority of my money on needs, I'm doing better than he is now. And that's not even a front or stunt on him or like to say what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just to show you that it is true. If you do go steady and consistent, you're going to make more money in the long run than the guy that does the hard flash in the beginning that wants everybody to see them. If you're attracting eyes, that's the stupidest thing you do, especially if you're buying needs or if you're buying wants. If you're buying wants, you do not want all those eyes on you because it's good attention, but then there's bad attention that comes with it. If you stay quiet and you're only spending on need, people sleep on you. They think you're broke or they think that you don't have shit. That's what you want. I want motherfuckers to think I'm broke. I want motherfuckers to think they don't have shit. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a target, A. And then B, when they fall, I'm rising. And then they're shocked. And then it wakes them up later. Like, oh shit, I was sleeping on Jake the whole time. And now I'm on my ass and this guy's just got his own place. So don't allow the flash of wants to get into your mind when it comes to staying on track and focusing on the needs. Why do we tend to want more than we need? That was a question that I got asked through social media. Why do we tend to want more than we need? I tackled a lot of it right there. Because we want to stunt and we want to front and we want to show off this lifestyle because when we watch TV and we see these celebrities and these movie stars and these athletes, they live a small percent lifestyle that all of us outside of that lifestyle want to live. Me personally, I can give a fuck about living like that because that just doesn't move me. My movement is more on legacy, helping out my family, helping out friends when I can, and then just focusing on my health and how I feel. I learned at a very young age that you could have all the money in the world, but you're going to still have the same mental issues as the next dude, or the homeless guy that you see is going to have the same strong mental issues as somebody like Kanye West, who can't even get his shit together. So money doesn't fix any of these things. What does fix these things is when you self-reflect and you work on yourself. And to me, that is a need way over a want. Is when you want all these things, you forget to focus on yourself. And focusing on yourself and your mental health is a need, a necessity. Because if that shit's fucked up, everything's going to be fucked up. So I feel like people want more than they need because we're being sold that. Guys buy a gang of shoes, women buy a gang of shoes. You got 2 feet and you have 200 pairs of shoes. How the fuck does any of that make sense? That means there's 365 days out of the year. You're gonna wear, if you only wore the pair of shoes one time per fucking day, you'd already go past half the year in shoes before you ever have to put another pair of shoes on. And you got 2 feet. That for sure is a fucking want over need. And don't get it twisted. There are people that grew up with nothing that get money and are like, fuck, dude, I got one life. I'm going to live the whole thing. In my opinion, do your thing. But just don't sell anybody that is a need over a want. And don't tell people that you're looking out for your family or you're looking out for your friends. Or you don't, because at the end of the day, if you really were, you would not buy 200 pairs of shoes. You'd buy 20 pairs of shoes, and then the other, you'd buy your family shoes, and you'd take that money and go towards something else, or put it in investments and have that money grow and give that money to your family and have them buy a house or something like that. Something that builds appreciation over depreciation. And I think where it's caught, I keep referring to it, America sells the shit out of you when it comes to all the things you don't need. And you need to clear your brain. And that's what I was just talking about earlier when it comes to self-reflection and working on yourself. And really breaking down what makes you happy and what would ultimately keep you happy for the rest of your life. I find it like this. If you're healthy and you're in the best shape that you can possibly be in, you're going to feel so good that you don't need anything. Me personally, I've always maintained health and fitness, and I feel great in any clothing that I have. I could have just a towel on, fine. I could have this shirt and pair of shorts on, fine. I could be in a tuxedo, fine. None of that defines who I am and the hard work I put into my body. If me and DJ Khaled wore the same clothes and nobody knew who he was fame-wise and we walked down the street, I'm pretty sure I'd beat him when it comes to female attention or just attention in general, because I'm in better shape than he is. He could have all the money in the world, but his body is still built the way it is built. And I know that bugs him. When he wakes up and looks in the mirror, I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. If you're going to look me straight in the face and say, I really love my gut over having a six-pack or over having a flat stomach, you're selling the bullshit to a stupid generation that's about self-love and you like what you like, baby, and that's what the fuck that shit. That's the stupidest shit on the planet, because at the end of the day, you're not healthy, and when you're not healthy, that plays with your body when it comes to physically, mobility-wise. And then B, you're mentally not healthy because you look in the mirror and you hate what you see, so you're knocking yourself. If you work on yourself, lose weight, get in shape, you're taking care of yourself physically, you're taking care of yourself mentally, whatever you put on is going to look great, because you know that you look great without it on. And that's the big thing. That's a need over a want. The want is the clothes to make you feel good. The need is to be healthy so you always feel good. You can't take the health off your body. Like, it's not like a changing room. Once it's on you, as long as you keep it consistent, it'll always be on you. The clothes, they come on and off. And when you die, the clothes stay here and go to somebody else. So don't allow any of that shit to fool you. And greed is a big one. Like I was talking about the 200 pairs of shoes. We're naturally greedy. Not all human beings, but most human beings. Naturally greedy from an early age all the way to the day that you die. We want more than the next person. We want to show that we have more than the next person. We want to tell people that we have more than the next person. And that's what makes us feel so great. I was talking to a friend of mine, and it was about billionaires. And he was asking, why do these billionaires that have so much money, they can live 10 lifetimes over and still be rich, not give their money out more and help communities out? I told him this. It's very simple. We don't think in these terms because we don't think that things are relative, but things are extremely relative. The reason why billionaires want to become richer and richer and richer has nothing to do with money anymore. It all has to do with status and power. I want to be the richest man on the Forbes because my 4 or 5 friends that are on the Forbes that are rich with me can see that I'm richer than them and see that I'm smarter than them and I'm more powerful than them. It's all a fucking dick measuring contest. Who's the strongest? Who's the most powerful? Who's the richest? It's all that shit. Which brought me to my point to help him think about it better. Tom Brady has 6 Super Bowls. He's in his 40s. Most quarterbacks aren't making it to 6 Super Bowls, winning 6 Super Bowls, and in their 40s still playing at a high level. The reason why he still plays is because he wants more rings. He wants to distance himself from the past, the present, and the future. He doesn't want anybody to ever get close to as many rings as he has or will have, and that's why he decides to go to another team. And then also prove, I don't need to play for the Patriots. I can go play for the Bucks and I can go win a Super Bowl, which may or may not happen, but in his brain, huge possibility. Him and that billionaire have the same mindset. It's all ego. There's no need behind it. There's no need for billions to make more. There's no need for 6 Super Bowl rings to turn to 7 or 8. But the want is so strong, it pulls you to believe that's a need. And that is why us as men don't live as long as women do. Because we will allow our egos to put us in bad positions to where we hurt ourselves and we get closer and closer to death with every major injury that we have because our bodies aren't working the same way. And we have to work harder and burn more calories, and our heart has to pump more blood and it can kill us quicker. But that's why we decide want over need. It's majority ego. It's majority greed. It has to do with a lot of hate in ourselves eternally. We don't have a lot of self-worth. So we need to prove this, that, and the other. It's a vicious cycle. It's something that I don't think helps anybody. Because to my boy's point, if you have $1 billion and you really want to make a difference, take as much as the next 5 generations of your family need to be sustained and wealthy and doing well. And the rest of the money, divvy out, give to people, create wealth in other places. But then our selfishness gets in the way and we tell ourselves, well, nobody helped me get this money, so why would I help somebody else? Instead of the pay it forward mentality, where if you do pay it forward and you do have that mentality, you're going to notice you feel better. You're going to notice the world moves better. But there's not enough of us that have that. And there's not enough of us that are taught that. And we're lucky if somebody does teach us that and we pay that forward. But the likelihood of you being a billionaire out of nowhere is very slim. So it's hard to really divvy that money out. And I'm not in that position. I can't speak for what somebody else is doing because that's not my money. I'm not counting. His dollars are his dollars. The same way with Tom Brady. I can't tell him to retire. His body's his body. And if he wants to get more rings, go get more rings. as long as you're not playing the Raiders in the Super Bowl. Would life be simpler if we learned more, if we leaned more towards needs instead of wants? I literally just said that. It would be extremely simple because we wouldn't have so much shit. We wouldn't be such a need to buy the new product fucking country or world. And it would be simple. We would just focus on what makes us happy, how can we take care of our family, and how can I stay healthy. Those are three very strong needs. They're going to help you physically, mentally, emotionally, and then you help the people around you physically, mentally, emotionally, and you're good to go. If we could have that mindset, holy shit, life would be extremely easy. But like I said, there's not enough of people like myself or people like-minded like that are running countries, that are running the landscape. And it's a lot of ego-driven, energy-sucking, stupid-ass people that probably, I mean, if you look at the majority of them, all out of shape, all goofy. They all have a very low sense of worth when it comes to who they are compared to what they have. And that's what slows us down, is it's who we are, not what we are, that we really pay attention to. What do you find when you live on a need basis? I find I have more money because I'm not spending on stupid things, and I could use that money towards better things. So that's one. True friends and family. That's what I notice. Anybody that lives on a want basis has a lot of fake fucking people around them because they see the lifestyle that you're throwing out there and they just, same thing. They want it. They don't need it, but they want it. So they see you popping bottles. They want bottles. They see you on a boat. They want to be on a boat. You're in the club. They want to be in the club. But when all that is done, they're gone to the next person that has it. And you're alone by yourself. You hear it countless times. Normal people, famous people. When the ride is at its peak, everybody's on that fucking cart sitting there with you. When it goes into the station, the ride's over, they jump out like that. And you're sitting there standing by yourself, not understanding why everybody's gone. So that's a big one, is fucking make sure when you live more need-based, the right people are around you. And the right people that are around you are people that live more need-based as well. And they just enjoy your time because they know that time together is fun and funny and it helps them physically, mentally, emotionally, like we were talking about earlier. And that's all you want. I don't need anybody to need things from me or want things from me or expect things from me. It's just more, what am I doing naturally that helps this person, and vice versa. I tell people this all the time. You have to do 3 things for me when it comes to being somebody that hangs around me. Make me laugh, make me think, or make me motivated. Motivated, think, laugh. One of those 3, and you're in my circle. Those aren't monetary at all. There's not a lot of money that goes into making me think, motivating me, or making me laugh. That is something that helps me internally, makes me healthier. That's a need for me, and then motivates me to go do what I need to do. I don't look at anybody else to get shit done. I get my own shit done, but I do look at help when it comes to motivation, when it comes to thinking, when it comes to laughter, and it gets me charged up and moving. Now, we're getting closer to the end of this episode, and what I'd like to do towards the end, besides me ranting this whole time as it is give a closing statement. And my closing statement to you is this. If you don't already, figure out a way to adopt a more need lifestyle. There are extreme and soft versions of this. I don't think you should be extreme anything. I don't think you should be an extreme spender. I don't think you should be an extreme saver. I think you should find a way in the middle to make things make sense. Extreme need person is literally somebody that lives in a small studio, only eats to survive, only drinks to survive, and doesn't live. That lifestyle is not fun at all. I don't condone that lifestyle at all. But I do condone a more need-based lifestyle. Do you need a pair of shoes? Unless you want to have splinters all in your feet, then yes, you do need a pair of shoes. Do you want 200 pairs of shoes? That's more the over the board. One pair might be a little extreme because you might need different shoes or different things, but let's meet in the middle at 5. Let's max out at 10. Let's not go to 200 because it just doesn't, there's too much ego involved in that. Do you want a nice car? Or do you want 6 nice cars? Remember we said earlier, cars more often than not depreciate in value. So let's get one nice car and then the family wagon that everybody drives in. Want, need. I need the family wagon to get all the kids in the car, get the family in the car, get to where we need to go. But I want my dream car and I've worked hard for it. That's okay. That's okay to have worked hard and indulge a little bit, but make sure you're covering your needs. And I think that's the big message at the end of the day. Always feel free to indulge 20% of the time, then make sure you're covering your needs 80% of the time. If you could live an 80-20 life, positive, meaning needs, little negative, meaning wants, life will be just okay. Don't go so over the top where it's 90-10 or fucking 100 to nothing. Because there's, like I said, either too much fun, and too much fun can get you hurt, or no fun at all, and no fun at all, you're going to die really quick, or you're going to look back in your life and be like, damn, I wasted my life. So I think you need to find that middle ground between the two, but make sure that the needs are more in the forefront. If you could live that way, I think you'll be absolutely fine. And then the best way to start, because a lot of people are looking at this, well, how do I start? Here's the best way. Go inside your room, go inside your house, and start downsizing. Spring clean after spring. Have I worn these shoes? When was the last time I wore these shoes? A year ago? Gone. When was the last time I wore this shirt? 2 years ago? Gone. Trim it down a little bit. If you could trim down your lifestyle, it helps you think better. And you're not, oh man, I didn't even know I had these. What the fuck? I didn't know this was there. If you're living like that and you're running into shit that you haven't seen in years and you can't believe that you still have it, get rid of it. You didn't even know it was there anyway, so why the fuck do you give a shit about finding it now? Downsize. Get off the phone. That's a want over a need. Get into the gym. Go run. Lose some weight. Only eat when you're hungry. That's a huge need compared to just the want of eating because I'm lazy or eating because I'm sitting down. I have nothing better to do. So, wants and needs are eerily similar in the categories that they fall in, but it just depends on when you decide to do them. Eating is the prime one. Eat when you're hungry. You'll be in better shape. You'll lose weight. Eat because you feel like eating. You're going to be in worse shape. You'll probably be fatter and slower. Look at it as simple as that, and then make your decisions from there. If you can do this, you're going to find yourself in a way better place. I'm not fucking joking. Start today when you get home. After listening to this, get your ass in your room, get your ass in your house, in your car, and start downsizing. Tell me if it doesn't help you think better. Tell me if it doesn't help you feel better. And then get your big fucking ass in a gym, on a treadmill, doing something, staying active. Only eat when the fuck you're hungry, and tell me if it doesn't do better for you. At the beginning it might suck because you're putting less calories in the system, so you're going to feel a little sluggish, you're going to move a little slower, but that's fucking normal. Allow your stomach to shrink, and then guess what? You're going to eat less calories, you're going to lose weight, and then you're going to be healthier. So everything I'm telling you is always meant to help you out in a positive way. It might not be the most positive, because at the end of the day, if I was so nice to you, you wouldn't do shit I'm saying. But I'm a little more stern and give you a nice kick in the ass, you're probably going to get out there and do it more often than not. So with that being said, follow towards the needs, get away from the wants, and have a great fucking day. Get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you need a jump start, remember I am selling Jake Shakes. That is my holistic smoothie that I take in the morning or I take at lunch. Helps curb my appetite, helps flush out all the bullshit that's just sitting inside your intestines, helps replenish your body, helps your immune system, keeps you healthy, and is 100% all natural. So why would you not drink that? So get a hold of me if you need that. And then also, I'm jumping into another avenue, which is the more fitness and life coaching, where if you need a nice little push and you need a more direct line of attack, hit me up, man. I'm your man. But besides that, enjoy the rest of your day. Get a hold of family members. Tell them you love them. Get a hold of friends. Tell them you love them. Laugh as much as you possibly can. And have a great day. I'm out. Peace.